Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sagebrush Happy Hour Journal entry for August 5th, 2026. The summer is cruising along. Another hot day, near record temperatures again, near 100 here in Taos, which is very unusual. And as you can see, with little fluffy clouds, no rain. So we're still hoping for moisture, and it is definitely a drought. So over the last day or so, I had this idea where, so I've got, if you can see way out there, right about there, I've got 4 cameras on a post. Actually, it's 5 cameras, one facing straight up, and each 4 cameras facing the 4 cardinal directions. And these cameras are security cameras from a company called Tapo or T-Link, TP-Link, and they're very good cameras for capturing night color imagery, and therefore there's a lot of people, astronomy people, that use those cameras to capture meteors, me included. And so I can, so if there's a meteor that's pretty bright, is that I can go back and look at the files on these cameras and get a real-time video from of that meteor event. And so I thought it would be a really cool idea if I could create 4 time lapses each night from those 4 cameras. And then that way I could kind of scan the time lapses and see if there was a meteor, and hopefully the meteor would appear on the time lapse. And then I could drill down to the individual video file to capture the real-time meteor. And so I did kind of have a system set up that was a little bit kludgy on software, but it would basically capture those a frame every so often, every 10 or 15 seconds from each of the 4 cameras, and then create a folder on a computer, and then in the morning it would try to create a time lapse from those files that were saved. And so that was great. It wasn't working too well, and I often would have to go into those folders and get the individual images and then bring them into my time-lapse software on my Mac, and then create a time lapse, and then, and it just was turning out that I was, it was really time consuming. And, if I set out a DSLR camera or one of my mirrorless cameras, did a time lapse at night, and then I had the 4 time lapses to process from the cameras, and then 2 more time lapses from 2 other cameras. And it was just, taking up a lot of my time. And so I thought, I'll just ask Gemini the AI to define me. I set my goal. I want to create 4 time lapses from these 4 cameras, RTSP cameras, and be able to look at them in the morning. So we went on this whole adventure, I will call it, is that so half the day yesterday I was spent trying to install scripts and a method to capture those 4 cameras and without burdening the cameras too much, and then install a application called Agent DVR, which is a digital video recorder that also creates time lapses automatically. And so I thought, I got an old MacBook Pro in 2013 model, and AI said, that would be great. You can take that little laptop and you can turn it into a dedicated DVR, and we'll make those time lapses for you, and everything will be great. And so code line after code line would fail, and so installing the camera capture software was a debacle that took about 4 hours to finally get up and running on that little old MacBook Pro. And then we come to find out that Agent DVR will not indeed install on that old of a machine, a 2013 machine running Mac OS 11. And so I had wasted about 4 hours taking that approach. And so this morning or around noon, I said, okay, let's take a different approach. And, how can I accomplish my goal using, some of the software and hardware that I have around. And I have a home assistant computer that runs all my home automation. And this was what I was originally running the frame capture and the time-lapse scripts on. But Gemini AI suggested, oh, why don't you do it this way? And I said, oh, great. Yeah, that's a lot less problem, no more coding. And so I installed a program called Scripted DVR and another program called MotionEye DVR, and got those working, and was able to view the video streams and capture the frames from every 10 seconds. And then I said, Gemini, so this is going to create time lapses for me every morning, right? Automatically. Oh, no, you have to create those manually. You have to go into the folder and run a script. And so it was a wasted 8 hours. And it just goes to show that AI is not that smart. And actually, I know how to do it another way, and I thought that I would try to push the easy button, but no, it wasn't. It was just the opposite. So that's my AI tale for the day. So that's what's happening. Cheers, everybody.